Assalamu alaikum. This is Muhammad Rameez and you are watching Flutterfluency. So today we are going to talk about settings button in Flutterflow. So let's talk about this feature. So if you go down and the last button you see, this is settings and integration. Here you can see it's setting and integration. So there are a lot of things that we need to understand about this button. So setting itself contains a lot of features, lot of other integrations that we can use within our application. So let's deep dive into this. We in this video we are going to discuss about these all of these tabs. So how we can and most we basically in this video we mostly discuss the most important and most commonly used setting tabs. Okay, so the first tab you can see is app details. So this button is really important because in this button you can simply manage your entry page. If you click here, so you can see that the project name is obviously when you are creating your application, so the project name is created by Flutterflow when you enter the name into your project, so it will be showing here. Okay, and the package name is automatically created by Flutterflow, which is just likely the same. You can see learning Flutterflow, so it's like here learning Flutterflow, but before it's com.mycompany.learningflutterflow.com Flutterflow. Okay, so but you can change your package name as well, but remember changing your package name must be unique across the Google Play Store. Okay, so when you are publishing your application, so your application is based on this package name. So this package name can identify that your application is unique and no one have this application the same. Okay, so if you have your own company, let's suppose if I want, I can simply add Fluency here, my company name. So you can also change the company name, you can see there, so we don't have any error. So you can also add your company name here. The next thing is you can simply change the your entry page. Let's suppose I have the list of my pages, and right now I just edit the dark and the light mode theme, because in the previous video we have discussed about dark theme and light theme in Flutterflow. So that's why the entry page I have set it, which is here. And the next thing you need to understand is, yeah, we don't have any other thing which you need to focus on. So we don't the other thing, we have a deep links, but now Flutterflow does not support Firebase deep links, so you don't need to understand this thing. Okay, and yeah, this download setting is important only for the person who is basically a programmer or a Flutter developer. So if you want to download your code and don't want to download the extra images that you have on this tab, so you can simply check this button, and that unused images will not be saving here. Okay, so let's move towards the other tab. The next tab is app asset. Yeah, this tab is very important. Right now you can see that I have added my splash. So you can see we have various options: splash, launcher icon, adaptive icon, or error image. Okay, so these images are really important in our application. So the splash screen is basically a screen when your application is open. So this is a screen which opens for a couple of seconds. Okay, mostly it usually stay for 1 second, but you can also change that duration from here if you want. So when your application is open, so this page will be appear. So you can also change it by uploading the image directly from here, as well as you can simply click on it here and the library would be open. Right now in my library we have only one image. You can see only one image, so that's why it's showing one image. And the launcher icon, this icon is important for the web application. If you are creating a web application and you want to show the launcher icon, which you can see on the search bar on the top of the website. If you hover over on it, I think you can't see, so that icon is basically a launcher icon, and this icon would be there. And Android adaptive icon, so this is basically a foreground icon, as you can see here at this option, because this option is rarely used, so you won't see the use of this. So the other is error image. So you can also add your error image. So let's suppose if you got any error, so you can show an error image, something went wrong or something like that. and about this tab, navbar and appbar. So I'm gonna create a separate topic on appbar and navbar because this is a very descriptive topic. So I'm gonna create a separate video about the appbar, and in the other video we are gonna also discuss how we can create a custom appbar maybe, or navbar. And this is walkthrough, and for the walkthrough I have already planned to create a separate video, so you need to wait for these two options, and you're gonna see this thing in the upcoming video. Yeah, so the other option is collab. I'll also give you a small introduction about appbar. So appbar is basically a header of the application, okay, and navbar is basically a footer of the application. And walkthrough is basically used if you want to show some kind of steps. So let's suppose onboarding process. It's kind of onboarding process. So let me show you walkthrough. Let me show you an example walkthrough in Flutterflow example. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. Here you can see. So this is a kind of walkthrough. So when your application is open and you want to show user where you need to click and what happened, so this is kind of walkthrough of application. So user can click on that walkthrough to get to know about what need to be done when he clicks on specific button. Okay, so next button is collaboration. If you want to add any specific email into your project or give an access, so you can change the access from here and you can invite the user as well. The next option is Firebase, and Firebase is basically if you want to attach your project backend with your Flutterflow project, so you can use Firebase here. The language button. So in the language button you can also select, if you have in the application you have multi-language support, so you can use multi-language support from here. You can simply add primary language, and you can also first of all you need to add language here. For example, my primary language is English, and this is the language I have selected. So if I click on primary language, so I can select English as my primary language, and secondary language is, let's suppose my secondary language is French. Okay, so I'm gonna add this thing, and display language should be English, but after then if I want to change the language, display language, so I'm gonna add French as well. Okay, that's how it's used. So I'm gonna delete this languages. Yeah, you cannot remove your primary language because I have added one, so it's okay for me now. So yeah, next option is platforms. So this button is not really used. You can simply, if you want to enable deep links, so you can just check the web support here. And let's talk about any other features. So yeah, dev environment is very important if you are working with the backend. Let's suppose Firebase, so you need to create your separate environment. So if you are in a production mode, so basically you create two databases, one is for production, one is for testing. So you can simply switch two databases using this dev environment, and the testing data will be saved into testing environment, and dev data saved into dev data. Then we have authentication. Yeah, if you are working with the backend part, no matters with the APIs or backend, you can simply enable the authentication, and you can select which authentication type you want, either a Firebase, Supabase, or custom. Custom means if you have API. Okay, then we have push notifications. You can simply enable push notifications here. If you want to push your application into the Play Store or App Store, you need to come to the mobile deployment, and you can simply deploy the application here. Don't worry about all of these things. The descriptive topic would obviously be covered in a separate video. Okay, and if you're working with a web application and you want to deploy the web application, so you can simply go there, and you can see that, as I told you earlier about the platforms, if you want to enable the web deployment, you need to go to platforms. If I click here, so you can see that you need to enable this from feature, then you will be able to deploy the web application. And if you want to publish your specific application into the Flutterflow library, so that Flutterflow selects your application and showcase it, so you can also commit changes or publish application. You can also use Stripe, Braintree, Revenue Cat, and a Razorpay as a payment service within your Flutterflow application. Okay, So if we talk about other integrations, so in the other integrations we have several other features. For example, we have Supabase integration. You can see Supabase is basically a database. So if you don't want to use Firebase, instead you want to use Supabase, so you can enable Supabase and add their unknown keys as well as their API URL. So you will be getting your schema and you can use across your application. If you are working with your offline database, so you must need to use SQLite. You can also enable that feature. I'll be covering all of these topics in a separate video. If you want to save your backup of your project, let's suppose you want, if you want to push your data or your code into your GitHub account, so you can attach your repository here and you can simply push directly. Okay, so yeah, then we have an Algolia search. This is a searching technique which you can add it here. You can simply go to algolia.com and you can attach this thing, but before attaching this thing, remember you need to configure your Firebase. Okay, so Firebase must be attached, and Firestore, you need to configure your Firestore, and then you can proceed to the next step. Then we have the important feature, Google Analytics. We can also use Google Analytics within your application and you can enable it here. And then if you want to use Google Maps, so you can simply add your Android key, iOS key, web key, then you can configure your Google Maps as well. Then we have AdMobs, OneSignal, Livestream, and Gemini. Gemini and OneSignal is very important. OneSignal is basically used for notifications, most probably. Yeah, here you can also see that. If you want to send an emails or notifications, so you can use OneSignals. And similarly, if you want to use Gen AI into your application, so you can enable Gen AI and you can add API key here and you can use Gemini within your application, which is a really cool feature. So this is a simple or a brief introduction about the settings tab. So you must know, because this question is really important if you are preparing for interview of Flutterflow. So the hiring managers usually ask a question, what do you know about the setting button? So you need to remember that you can manage all of these things using in Flutterflow using the setting tabs. You can either attach payment methods, either attach third party service, or even if you want to give an access of collaboration, or you want to do an authentication, push notifications, publishing, and the application as application settings, just like navbar, fbar, and app details. So thank you so much for watching, and this is a really fast forward video which I have in which video I have tell you about all of these things, and in the upcoming videos I'm gonna cover each topic separately. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.